In this episode, we will be going through Sandman number 5. In horrible condition, I apologize for that, but hey, you know, it came from that Craigslist haul that I got a while back, so I've been reading some interesting stuff from that haul that I probably wouldn't have otherwise picked up, which is fun, because it's, you know, give me a sample of different varieties of types of comics that are not necessarily normally my go-tos. SubMariner number 2, so we'll be going through that one, and then Cloak and Dagger number 1, you know, 35-cent comic that I got from the thrift store haul. Start off here with SubMariner number 2 from this 4-issue limited series. But I went back to reread it because the art on this is just surprisingly good, I think. So I wasn't familiar with him, but it's Bob Budiansky, okay, as the penciler. And the inker, Danny Bulanati, I think did a pretty good job. Except the problem is that Budiansky has this, like, really detailed style. And sometimes the inker, I feel like his brush like almost wasn't fine enough to pick up all the details of what the penciler was drawing, if you get what I'm saying. But look at this. It's just... And the writer is J.M. DeMatteis, or however you pronounce that. I never know how to pronounce that, but... I could stay on this splash page just for a couple minutes, you know, but I'm going to just kind of go through this quickly. The story's fine. A typical SubMariner story where he's torn between different loyalties to his people or to the humans. Of course, the humans, for the most part, includes a pretty human female. But when I first saw this is what first got my attention, this panel right here. They showed Dragon Rider. I was like, damn, that's cool, dude. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I like that outfit. I don't know how to say this without sounding a little bit homoerotic, but damn, look at his body. I like how it's drawn there. It's not like overly buff. It's lean. It's what I would expect from a swimmer superhero's body, if you know what I mean. Perfect. I think it's spot on for what I would like to see SubMariner look like. But then look at this right here, okay? I get it. It's an authoritative pose. They want to use big, bold strokes, but the inker just went overboard, man. Come on. You know? Here, too, some of the details lost. Let me get over here. Some of the details lost here, I think. Like on the face of that chick. Because the inking just couldn't keep up with that fine penciling. There's not enough space in these panels. He's trying to do a lot with the space that he's given. But that's okay. I enjoy it. There we go, a little faster. There's that female I was talking about. Oh, Subby, always getting involved with human females. Getting torn, getting himself into these kinds of emotional states right here. But that's what makes for good writing, right? Good material for good stories. Very nice. And then look at this. Just look at this. Look at the detail in this drawing. Awesome, huh? Anyways. A couple panels like that really got my attention. Here his own subjects are fleeing from him on the right panel there. He's finding out firsthand by actually visiting some of the poorer provinces and stuff of his kingdom that some of his people are not the biggest fans of him. In fact, they are scared of him. And here they attack him. Look at this. Look at this. Fantastic artwork. You know, normally I'm more for the story, but you'll notice I'm talking more about the artwork in this one because it's deserved. He's having a flashback. This happens in a couple of his Bronze Age stories. I've noticed he has a flashback to this time when he lost his memory and he basically was a derelict hobo living in the streets until he remembered who he was. And look at this. Holy smokes, huh? When I saw that panel, I was like, God damn. Look at this right here. Look at this panel, guys. Look at these two panels, really. Look how large he gets. I love this perspective on the scale. Look at the subby down there on the bottom left. Love that. And here he's just having fun, man, with a character that can basically take any shape or any form. Put that backwards. Look at this. Look at this. A battle. Crazy battle. Cool stuff, huh? I think so. Wang! Little octopus action. Little octopus action is always good. Here, I will say, I think he kind of missed. Trying to be a little bit too Kirby-esque there, and I think getting away from his own style did not do him justice in that panel, but that's okay. Fist doesn't really look quite right. There's a Captain America cover in the early Daredevil run. I think it's like 40, I don't know, 42 or 43 or something like that in the early Daredevil run that has a fist drawn just like that by Kirby. It looks amazing, but that one didn't quite do it. But bam! How was that, huh? Nice little surprise there on this comic. So we'll move on to the next two, and I don't know, let me know what you thought. I was really surprised by that artwork, man. You know, for a while I was trying to figure out what the deal was with Kirby going to DC in the Bronze Age, and some people saying his artwork started to suck, and other people saying no, when his artwork was actually the best. And the answer is, after I started reading more and more Bronze Age Kirby stuff, especially DC stuff, it was just different, you know. So some people are going to like, obviously, one type of art, and some other people are going to like different types of art. And what he did at DC in the Bronze Age was different. And here we go with Sandman, number 5, and I personally love this shit. I love the story, which is written by Mr. Fleischer. Art's obviously by Kirby, and I guess Mike Royer is doing the inking. I didn't know that. But what I really like about Sandman, aside from the consistently good artwork, in my opinion, from Jack Kirby, is the storyline. I enjoy it. It's out there, you know, Sandman coming in between the dream world and the real world, and trying to save little, what's his name? I forget what the little boy's name is. I've only read a few issues of Sandman at this point, but this kid right here, always saving this guy right here. But look at that, that's just classic Kirby. And something I noticed about Kirby is even when he makes a character it makes it like a mistake and draws a character to be a little bit too stiff, like I think he did in this panel, it still looks cool. That's the best way I can put it. Because of the proportions of the body, of the anatomy. So it kind of gives him a bigger room for error on his drawing. Same with his perspective. You see the fish here? If you'll notice on a lot of Kirby panels, a lot of his panels, I don't know what it's called, because I never took an art class in my life, but a lot of his panels direct to a central point. So here, if you look, like there's a line basically going directing towards the center. Everything's directing towards the middle here, as far as the lines of the drawing. And that makes it easy on the eyes. There's a lot of symmetry involved, and it looks good. Look at this. I like how here in the water, he's using the same pattern that he uses for space, if you'll notice that with the circles. He uses the same technique for drawing galaxies in space. That's funny. Or for water, why not? For economy's sake. But here's the evil. This was such a good story, man. The evil stepwoman comes in after the little boy loses his grandfather. I don't know how I just skipped over that. I wasn't even paying attention. Let me go back here for a second and see. The little boy's grandfather dies, and he realizes it here. And he'd been living with them on an island, and they'd been best friends, basically. And the evil step-aunt, that's her right here, with her husband, come in to try to collect the boy. And they have some sort of ulterior motive, you can tell from the start, but you're not sure what it is. Here, the little boy gets picked up by the aunt after the grandpa dies, because he has nobody to live with, basically, anymore, no more adults. And the aunt brings the boy with them, even though the boy doesn't want to go. The daughter and son of the aunt are not too friendly. No, they are not. You can see right from the start that they do not really get along with the little boy. Little boy gets put into a little attic-type room. Not quite what he had in mind when the ant picked him up off the island and promised him a better life. You get the idea. The story's entertaining. Here the family is eating. He's not allowed to eat what they're having. Sorry, there wasn't quite enough for you, buddy. I'm sorry we didn't have enough lamb chops and vegetables to go all around, Jed. Oh, Jed, that's his name. How's your oatmeal? Tasty? Delicious, Aunt Clarice, just delicious. Yeah, okay, that pretty much sums it up. So, with that panel, now that you get a feel for what's happening here, I'm going to speed up a little bit. He's getting bullied. His whistle, which was given to him by Sandman, is getting stolen, which is important because that's how he can get in contact with Sandman. You can see that Jed here does not take any shit. Go, little Jed. Looks like a little midget striking out, doesn't he? A little midget Amish boy or something. It's funny. I love the pigs in this panel. I can't explain why, but I just love that Kirby took the time to draw those pigs. Little pigtails. Love that. It's great, isn't it? Whoever says that this art sucks is dumb. I don't know how else to put it. This is good stuff, man. I mean, maybe he's had better, I would agree. It's not like his pinnacle, but it's good stuff. I love this Kirby Sandman stuff. It doesn't hurt to have a good storyline to go along with it. Frog battle scenes. How could you go wrong there, right? The end. Oh, and then you see, you finally see Groot and Blob right there. They don't make any other appearances really in this story for some reason, but there they are in the end. Just to let you know that they're still around. Good, good stuff. On to the next one, huh? Now on to Cloak and Dagger number 1, which is going to be much quicker than the others, guys. Just to make this video a little bit shorter. I was very impressed again with the artwork I found inside of this. This came from a thrift store haul. Real quick, here you go. Rick Leonardi is the penciler. Terry Austin is the inker. Perhaps that's why it's so good. I don't know. Bill Mantlow's doing the writing. The story was fine. Nothing special, I would say. That's my girlfriend's tablet going off. But look at the detail on this, would you? Look at this splash page. Opens up with a story about Cloak and Dagger basically busting this guy who's just a civilian, this guy right here in the center in the suit, who goes into a porn ring inside a porn shop that ends up having a section where men can pay 50 cents to go behind the curtain, which is where he's going here. Get that. To see who they want as far as naked ladies go. You can see that's what he's doing here. He's getting excited, puts in his 50 cents, a little porn perv, but Cloak and Dagger are waiting for him, and they bust it up. And that is how this series starts. The only thing I don't like about Cloak and Dagger is Cloak's face. I just don't like how it's drawn, man. It just looks kind of like a... I know he's supposed to be a demon with his powers. People like disappear into his cloak, and his cloak basically absorbs people and puts them into horrible states of hell. It's more or less what his power is. He can't really be defeated as far as... I don't know. I haven't read a lot about Cloak and Dagger, but for this issue alone, they make it seem like Cloak is basically invincible. There's anything that touches him just gets absorbed by him. And Dagger, on the other hand, as you can see here, is the opposite of Cloak. And instead of having darkness, uses light to her, to the best of her ability. Shoots things like light daggers, and of course she also is the good one. See, we will now shed the light on the darkness. And Cloak is, of course, a little bit harsher and a little bit, darker, as he should be in this contrast of light and dark. It plays out in this issue. The art is detailed, but a little bit scratchy, in my opinion. If you look at this, you'll see what I mean. I'm not the biggest fan of this type of modern/late Bronze Age artwork. It's not very fluid, especially when you compare it to something like Kirby that we were just looking at. Here, Cloak does some things that are not so nice, and Dagger questions her allegiance to Cloak as his friend, because the priest is basically telling her to leave Cloak because he's a bad person. Which he's really not. He's a good person at heart, but he has interesting intentions. And Dagger ends up leaving him at the end, saying, I'm getting out of here, I don't trust you anymore, Cloak, because he basically does some bad things to people that she thinks he should not be doing bad things to. His goal is to do bad things to all sinners, to punish all sinners, and she's saying, well, you shouldn't be so harsh. That is it, guys. That was it for another episode of Beyond the Covers. I hope you enjoyed.